I'm Brian Kessler. I'm the VP of Digital and AI Strategy at Foresight Studios.
And good to be with you all. I'm Catherine Walwork. I'm a VP of Digital at Avalon Consulting, and we partner really closely with the guys at Foresight, so we're excited to present this to you all today.
Yeah, we are going to have time for questions at the end, so start to think. Drop them in the Wova app. But we're going to be talking about page templates today. Sure, everyone's favorite topic, but I've given similar talks, 10 times before at ENCC, and actually, the people that are here are really excited about page templates. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm excited about them too. It means you're in the weeds, and we want to get into the weeds with you and share some lessons learned. So let me go to the next slide here. Oh yeah, that's my pupper.
You get us live. You don't have to look at our picture. All right, I can kick us off. So the first case study we want to share with you is about one of our clients, the National Parks Conservation Association. Many of you are probably familiar with them, a great organization that partners with and supports our national parks. And actually, Brian, I'm going to have you go ahead 2 slides because I want to just show you while I talk about it. This is what their donation forms looked like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And we had lots of conversations with them about improving the look and feel and UX of their donation pages. These aren't terrible, not the worst I've ever seen. But as you can imagine, there's a lot that could be better. Specifically for NPCA, they have, as you can imagine, a lot of great imagery of our wonderful national parks that is reflected on their website. If you go to their website right now, you'll see a lot of that great imagery. None of it was present on their donation form. There were some other things we wanted to work with them to improve too, such as like typography, field look and feel, some other ways that we just wanted to make it more cohesive with their branding in other spaces. And then some back-end things that needed to be improved too, which I will have Brian talk about.
Yeah, understatement. I want to also point out, I took this screenshot yesterday. These pages are still in the client account, so we can go back and actually get like real examples. This is exactly how it looked. This is not because of the screenshot being on a slide. It literally was just this like centered form with a drop shadow on a white page.
Yeah.
And it just looked like something was missing. And I like kept going. I was like, was it really this bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you can read it. It's got clear brand consistency. Like I can give it some credit for that. But I don't know. Does anyone want to shout out some like feelings looking at this? Like, I'm like womp womp. It doesn't inspire any emotion. So we wanted to go through a redesign process. And one of the big things was streamlining the layout. So when we do redesigns, whether you're on Engaging Networks or coming onto it, one of the things we can take advantage of is how technology in the space has changed. And one of the big things that came out a few years ago was Engaging Networks' support for digital wallets. They're really popular now. For example, if you're on Stripe and you're using Apple Pay or Google Pay, you don't need to collect all the personal information from your supporters. You can just collect pretty much email address and hide the rest of the fields if you want. What that means, though, is that you can optimize the layout where if you present the payment selection higher up in the page, when they choose that option, you can change what appears further down the page. So streamlining the layout, making sure it's mobile optimized. That's kind of a default today. We don't necessarily always mention it explicitly. You just kind of assume mobile optimization, but so important with fundraising pages. You definitely want to check there and make it an explicit intent for yourself. We also wanted to have a large background image, take advantage of that wonderful imagery that Catherine was mentioning. Also, my thing, I want a tooltip on there. I don't know if anyone recalls the era when people were baking in like image credits into the image, and they would be like impossibly tiny to read. I felt like the disclaimer text on like pharmacy ads, and so I like tooltips because they're accessible for people using assistive devices. You can put more information in there than just the photographer. We also wanted to have click to expand body copy, so that long text is still there if you want to get to it, but now it's going to be hidden behind something that you can click to see the rest of the text. Also on the old page, I'm not sure if you can see it here, that other amount, the way it is currently set up, if you wanted to enter a custom amount, you would have to click that button and then click into the input field and type in an amount. that doesn't,
Too many clicks.
yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but if you study any type of e-commerce optimization, every click is a potential abandonment point. So you want to reduce clicks. So that was something we were gonna optimize. As mentioned, we moved the payment type up the page because we can take advantage of modifying the page below based on your payment type selection. We're also going to add in premiums, and this is really important. We have a maximize my donation option, and one of the cool customizations we do that Engaging Networks doesn't yet offer out of the box, but I would encourage them to, is we allow our clients to customize the image that appears next to the maximize my gift option. We can even make it selected by default, which is going to come up later. It's a really important optimization for your page. We also wanted to use all VGS token credit card fields. If anybody was in Fernando's talk yesterday about page optimization, this is something important for everybody who made that switch to VGS. You probably moved over your credit card field and your CVV field to token fields because those were available day one of the VGS launch. You now can also move over your expiration field. And the reason you want to do that is if you don't have it, if you're still using a drop-down for year and month, when you use an autocomplete in your browser to fill in your payment info, it's only going to fill out credit card and CVV. It's not going to fill out expiration. So again, more clicks. How do we get rid of clicks?
Yeah, more friction. We want to reduce the friction to completing the gift.
That's a big one. And then this was really important. We had a really tight focus for this. Basically, we wanted to keep the branding, but we wanted to get them onto modern templates. And we wanted to get the donation page out the door live and then start to bring over the other pages. And so this was nice. It was 7.5 weeks from literally kickoff to public launch. There was a lot that went into that, but it included training, it included the staff QA and remediation. And it was very exciting because now it created this lovely foundation we had been able to build on. And you've probably been watching this looping gift over here. I encourage you, I'm very excited about the luggage cubes. That is a weird premium that kind of surprised me. And I'm like, oh, I am the type of person that actually would be.
You can pack for your trip to a national park.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is what we were able to deliver here. So you can see it's an evolution of the brand. We're leading with that beautiful imagery. This is one of my favorite photos, and it was the one we used for the development page. Just looking on the left-hand side, it's kind of obvious how this is going to translate to mobile. Also, people read left to right. So if you have to pick a left or right side form, I prefer the left. I don't have any testing to back that up. But again, people read left to right. I want to put the content on the left. You got that read more link. You got the branding with the gray and green continuing. Now you have an other amount field that you can just click into and type. No need to select the other button first, and then the field appears. And then we have the payment type information right at the top. Also fun, you look in that bottom right corner, you will see the tooltip. So you can hover over that or navigate to it with your keyboard, and you'll be able to see information about the photograph. This one for me sparks joy. That is literally, I mean, my colleagues can attest to this. I say this sparks joy probably several times a week, and that's how I make a lot of my choices. It's very vibe-based. I encourage you to go with your gut and have strong beliefs held weekly. And for this one, what we were able to do is just bring a lot of those common best practices that have evolved over doing this so many times with clients. And it's giving us a really incredible foundation to build on.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about what's beyond just sparking joy for the people in your organization who might need some data to go with. We've seen with NPCA consistently higher conversion rates on these new forms. I don't think that'll surprise anyone in this room, but might surprise your bosses or be a helpful data point to share with the bosses. Going back to that premium opt-in that Brian was talking about before. So they didn't previously have the option to opt out of the premium. And we've seen that basically since the forms launched, nearly half of donors have indeed opted out of the premium. So previously the default was that you would get a premium, right? And so that means donors have more control over their choices when they're giving to the organization. It's also significant cost savings. Those luggage queues and Bucket Hat are amazing. They also cost to produce and ship. So giving donors the option not to receive a premium also saves money for the organization too. There's also been huge improved internal efficiency. So Brian can talk a little bit more about this. So, the form itself obviously looks a lot better. The before and after speaks for itself. There's also been huge improved internal efficiency. So the people that are managing the pages, it's easier for them to do. It takes them less time to build new pages. And so that's something also that you can talk about internally as a reason to undertake a project like this. Is it's not just for the donors and your end users. It can also improve efficiency internally so you have more time to focus on other tasks.
Yeah, one of the lovely things about being able to work with so many Engaging Networks clients is over these years, we've been able to build a framework that we use for all of our page template build-outs, from working with Amnesty International to Oceana to so many clients out there. When we develop a feature for one of those clients, we get to push it up into that page template framework, and all the future clients get to benefit from it. So even though they're coming on, we're doing a really focused build out, like they're literally getting the strongest foundation we can build for them. And that allows us, once we get them doing all the very obvious best practices, allows us to build and get to innovate and do some more cool things with them. So let me talk a little bit about that. We built these page templates to evolve. What's really fun is we've had clients for so long on Engaging Networks that we've also been with them through rebranding and literally get to roll out whole brand redesigns to these page templates. And you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Our page templates are built so you can evolve in place. So you're not having to go through and recreate 100, 1,000 pages, whatever it is. They're literally going to one day look like the old brand and one day look like the new brand. There's kind of a fun integration here that I hadn't thought about that when we were preparing for this talk about just some of the implications and new opportunities that these pages were creating.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit to that. And to go back to the first bullet point too, I think in the very specific instance of NPCA, and you might have this at your organization too, they're planning a full website redesign within the next year or two. And, I think I've seen this a lot with organizations where it's like, well, let's wait for that. And then we'll, do the full sweep of all our donation forms, all our collateral to make them match. And I think, to Brian's point earlier, you can take this more kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, incremental. Yes. Thank you. Right there on the tip of my tongue. Incremental approach where you can build something that's future-proof. So then when they go through the full website redesign, in 2 years, it takes less work to get the donation forms looking, to match that look and feel too. And they're benefiting from all those improvements in the meantime and not waiting. I'll talk a little bit about the direct mail and digital integration. So to go back to that premium approach, this is a client who we work with on their direct mail side too. So my lovely colleagues in direct mail work with them on campaigns where they're testing different premiums in their acquisition packages. And previously we weren't able to replicate that experience on the donation forms, and now we are. And that'll pay dividends later because if we're able to test into a lower cost premium, lower cost to fulfill premium, that increases the net revenue in their direct mail program too. And I can see that having implications if you are an organization that does like a door-to-door canvas program, other channels as well. So really thinking beyond just I'm a digital person, I work in digital, I focus on the donation forms. I think, that's another way to kind of help make the case and build buy-in internally is to think about the implications for other channels and other, verticals in your fundraising program as well.
All right, now's the time to look back up at the monitor because I'm going to show you some eye candy, some really cool things to tell you where we might be able to go with NPCA. So some of the ideas we have are areas we've been innovating with Engaging Networks. So a big one is embedded and multi-step forms. So how do we bring that form experience into a fundraising lightbox? How do we bring that sign up directly into your website so you're not having to link off and redirect folks? We have something called Welcome Back. You'll see that in a second, where for return visitors, we make it really easy to see that all their information is filled out in the form, and we simplify the form that's displayed to them. We have something called the opt-in ladder. This is my own naming convention here, so don't worry if you don't know what that is. The idea is that someone who just took action on your form, maybe they hit that thank you page and they didn't sign up for your newsletter. They didn't sign up for your SMS campaign. They didn't sign up for some other campaign you're running. now's the perfect time to ask. So how can you embed a secondary opt-in in your thank you page to get people to say yes? Fernando presented with Angela at Rainforest Action Network yesterday. I think they saw about a 5% recovery rate of people. Fernando saying a 6% recovery rate of basically people who just took action and then on the thank you page said, yes, I do want to be on your newsletter. Yes, I do want to receive SMS. So it's just getting those few extra percent. And then regive, very similar idea. We're on the thank you page. We're going to ask for a second gift. Just say, hey, you just donated to save all the animals. Now will you donate $5 to help shelter a puppy? Let's take a look at them. So here's Amnesty International USA's homepage. You can actually go to their website today. And this is exactly what you'll see when you land on there. It's beautiful. It's a multi-step fundraising page. Everything on the right there is an embedded Engaging Networks form. Here's our welcome back feature where all the fields are disappeared because all my personal information was already filled out. So literally you go, you select your payment method, those fields will appear, you fill that out, or if you select PayPal or Venmo, no fields appear, and you scroll down and you hit submit. Here's Rainforest Action Network's opt-in ladder. I just opted into the main email list. Now I'm gonna opt, this is on the thank you page, opted into SMS, and now I opted into the Digital Action Network. 3 opt-ins in about 5 seconds. And there's one more for you. This is regive, the ability to give a second gift on the thank you page. I love this one. Love the cat. And confetti. Everybody needs a little more confetti in their life to celebrate. Your thank you page should be a celebration. It should elevate your donor to reinforce the gift they just gave. If you're just throwing some text and a receipt on there, again, it's that womp. Like, hey, I just made maybe this is the biggest gift I've ever made, $500, and I'm doing it instead of insert other activity in my life here. And you're like, okay, here's a tax receipt. Okay, thanks. Yeah, reinforce that gift. There's a lot of cool things you can do on thank you pages. So key takeaways are to strip distractions, reduce those clicks. Sorry, I was speaking out of order. I think it's Catherine.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So again, I think, yeah, if you're sitting in the room and you're thinking, I want to redesign my donation forms, how am I going to get budget for that? How am I going to get buy-in for that? How am I going to make that happen at my organization? How am I going to make my development director or my marketing director see that this is a priority? I think hopefully we've given you some talking points to have those conversations. And yeah, just closing with these key takeaways, leading with mission and impact, reducing friction, as we've talked about, embedded forms, just all these opportunities to increase conversion across your website and all your channels. And then iterate. So don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Don't let the perfect moment be the enemy of doing it now. Take that step by step.
Also, look back up here. I would love to share this gift to everybody here. We launched a fundraising page optimization playbook audit this year. It has, there we go. It has a 73-point checklist of things you can go, very explicit things you can go through on your fundraising page. These are not exotic things. These are very basic things around optimization, both on the page and how the page is managed. You see governance and maintenance there at the end. I gave a little short URL, FPOP, for fundraising page optimization playbook. But also, my colleague was passing around some flyers earlier. We are offering, at Foresight Studios, we're offering a free donation page tune-up. So if you would like us to take a look and throw together a few recommendations for you, we're not going to be able to do them for you, but it'll be a conversation starter, or it's something you can take and run with your team or use to go try to find budget to work on yourself. Grab one of those flyers or come hang out at our table after the talk. And we would love to hear more from you. So we're going to take the last few minutes now to look at those WOVA questions and see if there's any we can answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's a lot of great information in there. So yeah, we have some good questions coming our way. I guess we can have a seat if we want, or...
Love it.
Do you know if testing data exists that compares performance of different page layout formats for desktop, form, form-centered or full width versus side-by-side versus multi-step page checkout?
I can speak to this. So, I mean, everybody says this when you ask about testing, which is testing data is great, but your audience might be different. We've run some tests with our clients, not to the like left versus centered. We've actually run, I'm running a current test with a client of the multi-step versus single scroll, and the multi-step is winning, which has really been great to see. So I would say like, look for that data. You can tell your team that I said that multi-step is winning for some of our clients, but we've really seen it vary client to client. So I think testing for your organization is the best place to start.
Yeah, I'll throw in also, there is a novelty factor. So you can't just run the same thing all the time. Like, people will get blindness to it. So you could run the multi-step and the single step and use it strategically about when you're running one or versus the other. The other cool thing about our page template is all the layouts you just mentioned are baked into it. So with like literally about an hour worth of work, we can add those additional layouts there that can be chosen on a per page basis. So we had a client many years ago, Ocean Conservancy, where they found their advocacy pages converted better on a 2-column layout, but their fundraising pages converted better on a fully left-aligned 1-column layout. So for them, we split it.
Great. Next question. Are there any user heat maps, plugins for engaging networks, or other tools that let us know where people are placing their cursors? Well, I suppose I can answer that quickly for engaging networks. There is not a tool for heat maps within the platform. But when I worked in e-commerce, I used Hotjar. But I would love to hear from our experts what they recommend.
Yeah, Hotjar is like the de facto, but kind of the thing that's been creeping more and more into our projects is Microsoft Clarity, which offers that along with additional analytics that are, for me, like harken back to the golden days of Google Analytics. So if you haven't checked out Microsoft Clarity, it's free. Have one of your developers or one of your agency partners install it and just take a look, see how it compares to the other metrics you're currently getting. And it's open source. Yeah, it's a really cool project. Microsoft Clarity.
Great. All right. When you build these templates, do you refer to a list classes, IDs to style your engaging networks pages other than using the inspect tool in browsers? It can be challenging to identify them all.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. When you build these templates, do you refer to a list of classes, IDs to style your engaging networks pages?
This feels like a me question. I'll take
Yeah.
I'll take this one. Because we've been building these page templates so long, a lot of the theming is abstracted. So it's like, how do you want to theme the inputs? And we have CSS custom properties or variables that we define that says inputs have a 1-pixel border of this color and et cetera. And that kind of extends for all of the common branding. So occasionally, you do need to inspect it, but our page template framework is also open source. It's definitely a steep learning curve if you haven't worked with anything like that. It's got over 2,000 commits. We've been working on it for 7 or 8 years now. I think it just celebrated its 7th birthday. It's tough. If you're just a one-person shop, just inspect the element and move on with your life. If you're a larger organization, you have a lot of cooks in the kitchen, you need to build infrastructure. Our page template is core infrastructure, and that's what it's meant for.
Great. What do you do to ensure these pages are accessible to people with disabilities?
That's a great question. Would you like me to take that one as well?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. A challenge is that we've tried to put accessibility in certain proposals, but the truth is a lot of organizations don't want to pay. So typically what ends up happening is some of them do. We make those implementations, and then because ENGrid is the code base is shared across our clients, and we update all of our clients on retainer once a month, they get all those benefits. So NWF recently hired an external agency that did an audit of I think it was NWF, I could be wrong. Someone did an audit of all of their pages, including their website, and they came back with a list of like 8 things for engaging networks. We implemented those, and then within a month, all of our clients had those updates. So you could be on ENGrid. The other option, though, is because our code is open source and consists of 80 components, so all of this is really clean code. You literally could go to our accessibility component, read through all the things we're doing to ensure engaging networks is accessible, and just move that into your own code base.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
and
sharing
I would
that.
just add, I mean, it should be a priority for everyone. Like, as we all know, accessible design is good design and vice versa. So I think also just starting with some of the basics on your forms too, and that's some of what we worked with the crew at Foresight on, like the form styling, like the placement of the image credit, not having that being, hard coded onto the image so that a screen reader can read it. Also, just taking a look at your color contrast. You'd be shocked at how many organizations, probably some in this room, your style guides colors may not be, meet kind of the basic contrast accessibility. So I think, contrast standards. So I think taking a look at some of those basic things that you can control on your own first are also a great place to start.
Perfect. Well, that's all the time that we have. So thank you, Brian. Thank you,
Awesome.
Catherine. We really appreciate it. And if you have any further questions, feel free to visit them.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.